And then let's welcome Mr. Darcell Trotter. Come on up here, Darcell. Yes. Standing ovation. Look at that. Look at that, my brother. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Wherever you want to sit, my friend, wherever you want to sit. My goodness, my goodness. So, friends and family, I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I want to drop a little bit of information, background on the film. I'll ask a couple of questions, but I really, and the gentleman and I talked about this earlier, I really want to open it up to the floor much earlier because we want this to be a dialogue. Because there's a fun fact. This is the first African American Film Festival that you've experienced. All right, anything from my brother. So, introducing Darcell Trotter and Wayne Brown. We are screening out of Omaha here at the Capital City Black Film Festival. You know what, guys? This is the first Black Film Festival that you've experienced.
Yeah,
Yeah, tell me about that. How you feeling?
honestly, this is magical for me, you know what I mean? Because I've been to different, parts of the country and everything like that, and this is the first time where it was, mainly predominantly, African American filmmakers or actresses or actors or screenwriters or, just people in that profession in general. So it's always pretty dope because you don't really see that too often. So it's like,
Yeah.
man, that's awesome.
Yeah, what does that mean to you? How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel like, man, I feel like, honestly, it just makes me feel like we need this more. Like, I feel like there should be even more Black film festivals and, and more, just moments for us to, even appreciate the Black excellence that's in this room right now. It's amazing.
Wow, round of applause for that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to jump in, and we're going to work backwards here because I want to really get into the story, but I want to do some high level first. So, executive produced by J. Cole.
Yeah, shout out to J. Cole.
What's up?
They're the most down-to-earth people I've ever met, definitely.
But talk to me about that experience having a conversation with J. Cole because being a musician and you were a fan, walk us through that.
Well, pretty much how the ordeal started off, my producer Tim, who couldn't be here, shout out the director Clay Tweel, and shout out the other producer Ryan Johnston. They all couldn't be here, but me and Wayne are here, and we all move as one in here in spirit. And Tim had a relationship with J. Cole and J. Cole's creative director, Scott Laser. Shout out Scott. They had a relationship together, and he had helped produce some Forest Hill Drive's film. And Tim always knew that J. Cole was one of my inspirations. And as I was 17, I would always listen to his music to help me get through what I was going through. So Tim had kept that in mind as he was working with Scott, and had told him, like, hey, man, I'm working on this project with this kid from Omaha named Darcell. He's a huge J. Cole fan. You guys should check it out. And, make the long story short, he checked it out and everything, and then he reached out to me like, whoa, I need to meet the twins and everything like that. And from there, it was just magical. And the first time that I got the meeting was when I went out to New York. We had went to the Doc NYC, which is the biggest documentary film festival in the country, pretty much in the world, and we won the best audience. We won the best film award out there, and it was amazing. Wow. And that was my first encounter with Cole. We're in the back and everything, the staff and this and stuff, and my producer and director, I was nervous, and they're just like, hey man, we can be together, or if you want to be by yourself. And I was like, well, I would like to have a moment with him, just so I can let him know how I appreciate everything like that. And it was just a surreal moment. He really comes off as how he sings in his music. He's really down to earth. He really actually cares, and he's literally probably, I haven't been around that many industry people, but he's pretty much, he's like my favorite person I've been, across so far in the industry. But he definitely was really genuine, and he just pretty much kind of like eased the situation because my tension was just like real high. And he just like comes in the room, and I'm just like getting ready, and I just hear a voice like, hey Darcell, what's up? And I look up and I'm like, oh no, man. I'm like, what's up, man? And he just like, how you doing? How you feeling, man? I'm just like, I'm super nervous, yo. And he's like, nah, man, he was like, he was like, bro, man, I pretty much was just like, hey, man, I appreciate you guys using your platform to help me get my story out here. and you just don't know how much this is, you know, means to everybody back home. And he was like, yo, that was the easy part, man. You did the hard part, yo. That's the least I could do. And he pretty much, the conversation went as just like, you know, him just pretty much telling me, you know, to stay persistent in what I'm doing, and don't worry about, you know, don't worry about what anybody thinks or the backlash you could, you know, come from this or anything, you know, because I always keep that in mind, what we doing and everything, and what I'm doing and trying to advocate back home. I could lose my life in the process of doing it. And he was just like, you know, just stick with what you believe in, man, and we got your back, bro. And just for this night, man, just let this be special, man. And he was just like, and he just, man, he's just a great person. And he even was like, I'm not gonna sit in the theater because I don't want to take away from the film. Like, people are not here for me, they're here for the film. And that's what type of guy he is. And he talked to my little brother. My little brother called from prison, and Cole was just like, let me talk to Charles real quick. And man, made my brother's day, like him and the other inmates. And he, around that time, he had been locked up for about almost 3 years now, because he went to jail when he was 16 and been in prison ever since. And yeah, and when he got the chance to talk to J. Cole, just pretty much like, it just brightened up his whole day. And you can hear him and the other inmates in the background, and just like, it was just crazy. And he just started trying to rap for him and stuff. And he started trying to bust a freestyle, and Cole's like, all right, okay, that's cool. And then he just started like, you know, he was just like, you know, let him, you know, ask whatever question he wanted to and everything like that. And then after that, you know, I had just pretty much had a few questions as far as like just being a fan and hip hop and everything like that. As far as, you know, certain songs I felt like that meant stuff to me. Like, what space was you in around that time when you wrote that? And he pretty much was just like, you know, man, you reminded me of myself a lot when I was trying to figure it out. And, you know, his mom went through drug abuse and everything, and my father went through drug abuse. So we were able to relate a lot. And it's just still surreal for me, because it's still like, when we were doing this, nobody was in this like knowing that we was gonna meet different people and a lot of different people that could help us, you know, make a different, you know, big impact and everything like that. It was just me being this kid at 16. I was like, I want the world to see what I'm going through and how I'm living, because then if, you know, possibly whoever sees this, that can, you know, make that, you know, can make that stand. That's like, hey man, let's all get together, you know, and let's just start seeing what we can do to, you know, what resources we can find to make sure these kids can be as successful as possible. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what my mission was. And by the grace of God and by faith, you know, it happened to be one of the most people that inspires me to this day had seen the story and was like, yeah, I'm gonna reach out to the twins. And he literally, before I got a chance to meet him, he had sent me like a big box just full of Dreamville merch. And this is when the crew, the staff, I mean, the guys and everything, they were, you know, telling me. And I, you know, I just was trying to process it. And he has his letter, and he's just like, you know, and he just was like, pretty much like, man, I seen your story, man, and it touched me. And he was like, you and your brother, you know, you guys, you know, keep grinding, you know, keep going. And that's when they just gave me a box, and it was just full of stuff. And I was just like, I was just ecstatic for a second. I actually broke down. I started crying. I didn't think it was real. I was like, wow. Like, this is somebody I looked up to, like, I really respect a lot. And I just asked the guys, like, hey, you know, is there any way that I can write him and let him know my appreciation for this? And they said, no, you'll be able to tell him in person. And I was like, what? And it just was crazy, just like, it was just wild. And ever since, you know, I've had a great relationship with the whole Dreamville crew. Felton, Matt, MK, everybody, they're all just great people. And it's just all black excellence. And Scott, he's the only person that's not black. You won't even be able to tell. Scott is awesome, yo. Love you guys if y'all watch it for real. But it's been a surreal moment, and by far this is probably one of my favorite festivals for real, because it's awesome, yo. And just to be able to, you know, share this moment, and I'm pretty sure everybody in this room can relate to a situation that has somebody who's going through the same thing I'm going through. Definitely. And I just kind of feel like I just really hope from this that we can definitely have that conversation and be able to start coming together and get our community stronger again, because I feel like it can't just be certain individuals that's trying to push for a change, but it has to be like a whole community, like how it was back when my grandparents were coming up, where everybody had that dialogue, and parents and teachers had that communication. And people wouldn't just turn a cheek away like, oh, that ain't my kid. You know, I was 17 doing shit I shouldn't have been doing on a bus stop. Somebody should have been like, boy, what you out there doing? You know what I mean? But I didn't have that. People were just like, they ain't my kids, so I don't care. And I just kind of feel like we have to get out of that mentality for us to be able to just as a whole, as an ethnicity, you know what I mean, to be able to advance forward and, you know, in that forward progress and everything like that. It has to start with us as individuals, like, hey, at some point in time, we got to take accountability for ourselves and our people and our children. Like, because if we don't, you know what I mean, like, our kids is our future, you know what I mean? Like, they have to, you know, carry on the torch after us, so.
Wisdom, wisdom. Oh my goodness, round of applause for this film. While we're getting our live going, Wayne, let me jump in here and ask you. You mentioned something that stood out to me. You talked about the streets being random. And I gotta tell you, when I was viewing it, I was first just being a spectator. I'm supposed to be researching, but I'm being a spectator. So I'm gonna be real with you, friend. When I was watching it, I thought, and y'all can nod or you can just leave me up here by myself in this, I thought, okay, with you being in the program and thinking about college, and then when I saw Rail's attitude at the studio, I thought Rail was gonna be the one caught up, honey. Yeah. I was like, Lord, here go Rail.
Everybody says that.
I knew. I was waiting on it.
They was like, we thought your brother was gonna kill somebody. I was like,
and when thing after thing after thing happened to you, I was like, my baby, Lord. Did anybody else feel that? I was like, why my baby? Y'all know Rail the one with the attitude. And not to draw a contrast, but that's just where the story was taking you, right? And so Wayne, streets are random. Because both of you men have beautiful hearts. It's so clear. But what happened? What happened? Wayne, talk to us a little bit about the randomness of the streets.
You know, that's the thing, because there's so much talent, right? There's so much talent in these communities. I mean, you see what these two brothers have done, right? With given the opportunity to be free from all that trauma, they've done incredible things. They're entrepreneurs, business owners, right?
Yes.
So, you know, there's a book by Richard Rothstein called The Color of Law. And it kind of talks about that journey from Jim Crow segregation, housing policy, criminal justice policy. It's a book by Mersha Baradaran called The Color of Money, about our financial restrictions and banking policies and white flight, depriving these neighborhoods of resources. Isolation, poverty, scarcity, right? People are just trying to survive. I don't care who the people are in that neighborhood, they're just trying to survive, right? And so when you put that clock in motion, when you have all these things happen, when it's your turn to get pulled over, when it's your turn for the wheel to stop, and they pull the chair out, and it's your turn to fall, and when it's your turn to get shot, when it's your turn to have to lose your job, when it's your turn, that's random. These are good people. And I have to fight sometimes to make sure that people don't separate Darcell and me. When you see Darcell, you should see me. When you see me, an attorney, you should see Darcell. We are one. We are excellent. I got an opportunity. He got an opportunity. I work with young men every day. There's a young man right now, and he's going through that randomness right now. You know, they say that it takes a couple of positive experiences in order for that light to turn on, right? It takes people 7 attempts, on average, to quit smoking, right? It takes a long time. We saw how long it took for the light to come on, right? But we got to stay in the fight with these young people. You know, this might be this young man's 5th time around. We got to stick by him and make sure he has an opportunity to get out. So the randomness of it is that we don't know when it's going to happen. But I get in trouble for that. I got to say this. My wife says, you know, don't take God's grace out of that too. So, you know, that's there as well. But it is, yeah.
So, Darcell, I have 2 more questions, and then I want to start taking questions from the audience. Darcell, throughout the entire film, I noticed an incredible amount of wisdom and an incredible self-awareness. You would say, you know what, I got this. Or I gotta basically step up and do what I have to do. My question for you is, a third of what happened, by the time the film was a third in, most people would have thrown their hands up and walked away. How on earth did you bear hit after hit after hit and keep standing and moving forward? Where did you pull from? And please tell us how we can do that too.
A lot of it, you know, like Wayne said, he said, a lot of it was me having my connection a connection with my higher power, with God. Because beforehand, I never took the time to have a relationship with my higher power. And most of the times when I would be incarcerated, I would use those times to start reading and allow myself to be educated upon the things that I didn't know. And a lot of times, the mistakes that we make is because of a lack of communication. You know, I mean, a lack of knowledge in communication, in education. And I had a lack of education upon a lot of different things. And like for instance, I didn't even have to give my rights up for my daughter, but I didn't know that, and I didn't have anybody who, you know, that went through that type of situation. Either people in my family, the men in my family, either wasn't there or they had their children and didn't have to go through that process. So I didn't have anybody that I could hit up and be like, hey, how do I go about, you know, custody and parental, you know, different things like that, court proceedings and all that different stuff. I went in there by myself, and I didn't know that, you know, they pretty much like swindled me into thinking like, in order for me to be able to see my daughter, I would have to gave up my rights for just to be able to see her, and I didn't have to do that because once I did a DNA test, I was her biological father, and I had put myself on child support, so I didn't even have to give up my rights. But me not being educated about that, I signed into my rights, you know, and just from there, that just kind of pushed me to wanting to you know, I just pretty much from there was like, man, I never want myself to ever not, you know, be in a good position because I didn't take the time out to educate myself on something. And then just being able to have that endurance to withstand stuff, it just came from me having my connection with God and just trusting that process. Like, you know, sometimes God takes you through hell to get you to heaven.
That's right.
And I felt that. You know, it was my testimony and him, and when Lord blessed me with my daughter, it was like, okay, now you gotta, you gotta get your shit together. You know, you gotta grow up. It's time to be responsible now. You know, you can't keep doing the same things you were doing. You have another human being like that you're responsible for. And I didn't have my father there, so it was very important for me to want to be there. And I really love her mother. And me and her have a great relationship now. Actually, we didn't get a chance to show that in the film, but she got remarried and everything, and I'm happy for her, and we have a great relationship.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, definitely. Just took a lot of maturity and growth involving as a human being.
Awesome. You mentioned your resilience. You're talking a bit about your resilience. And in the film, you know, your brother was sharing that I don't have anybody that can show me how to operate a camera. They can show me how to operate a gun. So that brings up the conversation about community, your tribe, your circle. At the same time, I saw very beautiful glimpses of brotherhood. In a society that talks a lot about toxic masculinity, I saw some real love between some young brothers.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Skylar. Talk to me about the tears for your brother. Talk to me about the love of your brotherhood.
Oh man, that right there also, that also plays a big part in your direction, is who you keep around you. You know what I mean? And if you got people that's always positive, that's always shooting you words of encouragement, and that's how it was with me and Skylar from day one. He's always saw past like all my mistakes and everything. He never saw me as like this problematic person and this dangerous person. He's always saw me as Darcell, a great person and everything like that. And he always treated me like that no matter what I was going through. Never turned his back on me ever. I was on the run at the door, all type of stuff. Like, he could have went to jail for just even housing me, but he knew like what the situation was and everything like that. And he stuck by my side, and I can't do nothing but, you know, be forever grateful for that and embrace it. And I'm so grateful for that guy, man. Skylar's a great human being. I love that dude. We still have a great relationship now. And he's just amazing. And like you said, you know, we live in a society where it's like looked down upon to, you know, to allow your people that, you know, that you care about, to let them know, like, hey, I love you. You know what I mean? Because you never know, life is short, you never know what's going to happen, you know what I mean? And we just let our egos get to the point where it's like, it's not cool to show emotion or to have affection or to let your kids know how you feel about them or whatever like that. And it's not cool for men to express how they feel or whatever like that. And I feel like that's the reason why we're going through what we're going through now, and the mental health is very scary out there. You know, a lot of people that were going through what I was going through and a lot of the conditions I was going through was because of the trauma that I was going through and I had faced and stuff like that. And as a race, we look down upon mental health. And there's nothing wrong with going to see a psychiatrist or whatever you need to do to get your headspace right, because you can't do anything if your mind ain't right. You know what I mean? And that's important. Definitely.
Excellent. I love that. I love that. Do we have questions starting to my right? Do we have any questions so far before we go further? I heard yes. I can't really see. Yes, right here in the ball cap in the front. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
How long did it take to make this movie? Because it was 16, 17, 18, 225. That's about 9 years.
Yeah.
So for the cameras, the question is, how long did it take to make this film?
It took about 10 years. It really did. We didn't, like I said, we didn't purposely plan that. It just had happened that I ended up having chemistry with Clay and Ryan and all of us and everything, and I just had that comfortability and I had that trust with them. And Ryan's father was the director of my foundation, Avenue Scholars, where I met Wayne at, and he became a mentor to me early on, and just from there, you know, we just had that trust system. You know, it was moments where, you know, we really had to trust each other, because as I was growing up and was going through my transitions, my mindset would change to a point where, like, I would second guess, like, filming. Like, should I really be doing this? Like, or will this possibly mess relationships up? Now that's different from when it was in the film and everything. So it was definitely a lot of sacrificing on both of our ends. But we definitely didn't plan that we were going to be able to shoot for 10 years and everything like that. And it was just amazing that we were able to do that. And when when we got to get into like a certain point, and, you know, they got the chance to kind of go over everything, it was like, wow, we got all this footage from when you were a teenager to being an adult. I'm 27 years old now, and it was just like, wow. And,
Wow, amazing, amazing. Second question. Oh, absolutely. Madam Ambassador Sherry Shepherd would like to ask a question. Yes, ma'am.
This film, this documentary was so excellent. And
Thank
I
you.
would like to know, how do we support you? How do we support young men who are out there lost?
yes. Pretty much how we can, further agenda on it is just, well, for one, is letting the world know about this film. It's never easy watching yourself go through trial and tribulation, but I feel like in order for this to resonate with people, I would have had to be transparent as possible. And none of this was scripted. Everything that was going on was real. Whatever was going on at the time in my life, that's what was on camera. And I knew like this could possibly, strain some of my relationships with people, because they would, kind of just feel like, dang, you putting dirty laundry out or whatever. But it was just like, I wanted to be transparent. So whatever I was going through, that's what it was. I didn't want to make myself look like I was like this hero or anything like that. And there's moments in the movie where I probably look like a bad person, a terrible person. And that's one of the ways I feel like that it could definitely start a narrative to where we could start, trying to do some forward progress and everything like that. And that's just one of the surfaces, And then another, I feel like, is just, we just starting to like take a stand and just stop like not speaking up about different things. I think that plays a big role too. Like far as like we gotta kind of just like take accountability for what we need to do, as an ethnicity, period. It's like, okay, we need to start, taking accountability of our own. And that's where it starts with having that communication. Like, we all gotta, have that dialogue with each other and start, communicating and everything like that. And just start, and just I think the main important thing is being able to get across to the youth. I think that's the main important part. And I think how to do that is not just, trying to, because you can throw money, you know what I mean? You can give millions of dollars or whatever it is like that, and, you know, give the money, you know, you can definitely use, you know, money to, you know, get different things going on, but if they don't know how to utilize it, the money doesn't do any good. So I feel like we need to be more hands-on. We need to really be there and really like, because it took like Wayne and them, and I thank God for these guys so much because they never gave up on me no matter what, even when I gave up on myself. Because they could have, and who knows where I would have been. I would have probably been where Charles is dead. And they didn't. They stood there with me. And it wasn't easy, but y'all know them would come to my neighborhood and come pull me out of there and everything like that and just really ride me. And it really, a lot of different things like I had learned from my cousin who at the barbershop and everything. He was probably like one of the first people that me and my twin brother had saw at, you know, at being a teenager who was an African American who was, you know, an entrepreneur. You know, we didn't really see that really that much where you see your own kind where they own businesses like that or whatever, and letting you know like, hey man, sometimes you gotta, you know, take that risk and everything and not be afraid to fail, you know, because it only make you stronger, you know what I mean? And when I seen that, it made me and my brother think like, wow, if my cousin can do this, we can do this too. And you only can do so much. You know, you only can climb up so much underneath a person to the point where you gotta kind of just be like, wow, you know, I think this is that time where I need to, you know, do it on my own. And that's what me and my brother do now. We're really working hard. You know, we still doing appliances and me in the contractor business, but our dream is to be able to, you know, make enough revenue to the point where we can, you know, start giving back to Omaha, and just doing everything that we can. And my cousin does have a nonprofit organization through his barbershop and everything, where we go read the kids, and then we go to different schools, we go read to kids. We just do a 3K race run in North Omaha. We felt like, you know, we felt like the importance of not even just, you know, promoting, you know, self-made and entrepreneurship, but I feel like health needs to be, you know, expressed too. You know, because without your health, you can't do anything. So my cousin just came up with the idea of like, hey man, we should do something that promotes health. And start getting, you know, because when you promote good health and you go to the gym and everything, the science and the study shows like when you work out and everything, it makes your self-esteem go up and everything like that. So we was like, well, why don't we start doing stuff like that? Because Warren Buffett, you know, he's the third richest man in the world. He lives in Omaha, and they had a 3K line, and it just kind of sparked that idea of like, wow, we don't have nothing like this in North Omaha. So my cousin, we was just kind of speculating it out. And shout out Anthony Carolina, my cousin, I love you, man. And we were just like, you know, if they can do it, we can do that too. And we were nervous about it because we didn't know how people were going to show up. And I told Cuz, I'm like, hey man, even if it's 10 people that show up, at least we made a difference for those 10 people who did, you know what I mean? And it doesn't matter, you know, we just keep it going regardless of who shows up and who not.
Tell us about baby girl. What's she doing? What grade she in?
The real star of the movie, sorry.
Makai, she turned 5 back in March.
Wow.
She just started kindergarten this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been a huge transition. She's one of the most toughest people I've ever met in my life.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, she went through a lot and she took it well, you know. It's not easy for a kid to have to go through 2 different households and go from, you know, one set of rules to a different set of rules.
Sure.
So for her to, you know, for her to take it well, she doesn't have any behavior problems at school or anything like that.
Wow.
She's a happy kid. And I was talking to her mother the other day, like, wow, you know, like Makai really looks happy. She's really happy. Because I remember not being a happy kid growing up. I was never happy. And for my daughter to be happy, it's just, you know, it's just like, wow, you know. I went through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and just trying to, you know, have a leader for her. And it's just great to see that, you know, she doesn't know anything about me and her mother at once upon a time, not being on the same page or anything. She doesn't know anything about, you know, poverty, or she doesn't know anything about any type of negativity right now. Only thing she knows about is being a kid, you know, happy stuff and shit like that, and stuff like that.
you said it right the first time.
You know, and definitely, she's a good kid. I wish I could have had her with me, but I kind of feel like it's still not appropriate for her to watch it yet, because she's so young.
Understandable. And you know, let me celebrate you, King, and then we'll go to our question to my left. Because you said in that film that you were gonna break the cycle.
Yeah.
But you said of parents not being together.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope you hear what you said just now. You have broken so many cycles.
Yeah.
She's a happy kid. You didn't have that. She doesn't know parents and a father dealing with addiction. You broke that. What you spoke is. So I salute you, King. Thank you for breaking that cycle like you said you would for our little baby Makai. We appreciate you for that.
Definitely.
Wow. Yes, yes, sir. Question to my left. That's it. That's all right.
My story was my story. 50 years old, my mother was a convicted dope dealer. I stayed in my friend's house to get away from it. I was always smart, but I was shuffled through the system. I was lucky. I had friends who, because I was smart, didn't really want to hang out. I was always the butt of their jokes. You know, and I started my business with $22.83 after I got out of corporate America making six figures. Mind you, I didn't even finish school, high school, because I was too smart. And I didn't have an Oklahoma history class, so they made me take a GED to get into college. And if I hadn't gotten into my fraternity, I wouldn't even know a sense of being something. So I pushed myself and took care of myself. So watching your brother's story, man, just really it shook me to my core. And I was able to build a business and do some things. This ain't even, I mean, everybody's looking, but this ain't about me. This is about the promise that we're supposed to have as a culture. And every day we are let down.
Yes.
Every day we are disrespected. Every day we are depicted as something that we are not. We are kings and queens.
Yes.
And we are not being celebrated in that manner, regardless of the things that we might have plight we might have fell into. We are still kings and queens. We didn't come from the caves. We came wearing draped in diamond and gold and being leaders of our community.
Yes, we did.
And
That's it. Powerful.
I have a business that helps people build and get commerce for their businesses. I teach people financial literacy. When you were talking about the banking system,
Yes.
a lot of people don't know that they know that you're black by your social security number.
Tell true.
Yeah, I was just having this conversation. It's crazy. They wouldn't get me and my brother alone at all to save our lives. Like we have to really, to get our business started, we have to come out of our own pocket to get it started.
Well, we're going to fix that. I'm going to donate my services to you for your business, and you and your brother want to teach you guys financial literacy.
Amen. Thank you.
I'm going to send my telephone number to you. You can call me anytime. I swear to God, I will pick up whatever you call.
Thank you, brother.
If you like and you want to do some stuff for your community, I will personally, on my own dime, come to your community and teach financial literacy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, King. Thank you so much, King. The connections that are happening. Congratulations for being you. Your bravery opened these doors. And God carried you through. Yes, in the newsboy hat here. Newsman hat.
All right.
I love it. Thank you for that. Thank you. To my left in the back here, question.
I just wanted to share that I also, I was on the farm. I grew up there.
I apologize. It's hard for us to hear. You don't mind projecting a little bit? Yeah, do we have a festival?
I'm just saying, I'm out of Omaha also.
Wow.
I was there, and I know what you're talking about. I know what you experienced there. And it's hard. It's hard. I'm just proud of you. I really am. And I know you're doing good things, and you'll continue to do good things. But it's a rough place to live and grow up in Omaha. I grew up there, and I was a good student, did all the right things, so I thought, but there was always that reminder that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
And you don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not good enough, because you are.
You are.
Thank you so much for that. And that's why, wow, thank you. Powerful, all the love in this room. Do we have another question in the center? I saw a couple of hands that I wanted to get through. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to say, so when I moved from Trinidad to America, the first thing that I was taught was you got to beat the system. And watching this documentary, what I'm experiencing through you is that it wasn't about beating the system. You were creating your own blueprint to change the system. And so this whole series of The Path to Freedom, I'm just curious to hear from you. What does freedom now mean to you and to your community?
Freedom now to me means just being able to be, a conscious thinker, and thinking on your own, not allowing nobody to direct how you feel about anything, and just having the courage to do whatever it is that you want to do in life, and thinking before you act upon things, and for my community, I feel like, I hope that my story and everything that I went through can inspire the next young man who was trying to figure it out like how I was, like, where do I go from here? Or what if I fall short? And when they see that I did fall short, it allowed them to know, like, just because just because a person goes down the wrong path doesn't mean that they're lost forever. And rest in peace to the great Nipsey Hussle, man. That's one of my, I love that dude. To paraphrase one of the quotes he said, he was like, the greatest thing you can do for human beings is to inspire them. You can try to give a person some money or whatever like that, but if they don't have a game plan, what are they going to do with that money? They're not going to do anything with it. Spend it and be gone tomorrow. But if you can inspire a person and inspire them and motivate them to do forward thinking and to have a clear mind and a pure heart and have some type of, I'm not telling anybody what to believe in or anything, but I feel like if you can have some type of connection with the higher power, it'll definitely make a big difference. And like you said, and just having that self-confidence, us as parents, we have to make sure that we always allow our children to know you can be whatever you want to be, because growing up, I didn't have that self-confidence. I didn't have my parents. My mother always was going having to work, and I didn't have my father there to tell me that you can do whatever you want to do. So I didn't feel confident enough to go do different things. I didn't feel confident to go do band in school or anything like that. And sometimes parents can be the biggest dream killers, or advice like me. And so we have to always remind ourselves to always make sure our kids feel confident at all times, and we feel confident at all times that we can do whatever we want. I hear so many brothers every time I'm back home, like, they talk as if like it's too late for them or something. I'm like, it's never too late for you, bro. Even if Ricky's mom got her degree and went back to school and got her bachelor's at 39 years old. You know what I mean? And for the most part, early on, she was, had got straight onto the workforce. But it did, she never gave up on getting her degree, and it was tough. And I remember it was times where she would tell us, like, I better not be making too much goddamn noise, because I got to study this shit. Seriously. And she got it and walked the stage, and I wish that could have been, on the scene. But pretty much it's just like, always having that self-confidence in yourself, because sometimes we can be in our own heads. I can be in my own head at times, like, am I good enough to do this? What if people think, I sound crazy, or what if I come off as like, just like an ignorant person or something like that, or what if people make fun of me because I don't know it, you know what I mean? And that's when you're supposed to ask questions, when you don't know something, because none of us know everything in here, nobody. And if I don't know something, I'm gonna ask questions till I do figure out how I know it. And that's why I love when the youth, at every Q&A, all the youth would come up to me, and I was stated the whole time. Everybody would be already in the other room, socializing, having drinks, but I just feel like it's my obligation to pass down the wisdom that I experienced to the youth. If they asking me, hey, how do I get to, doing these things? How do I go about obtaining the LLC and all that different stuff like that? And I feel like, man, I'm obligated to let them know what's up. You know what I mean? So, because what's the use of having knowledge if you ain't gonna let, spread it upon the people? So it's just like, and like you said, brother, not giving up on our black women. And I haven't, and at the time, I lived in Grand Island and there wasn't any black women around. That's all I was around, so, and Melinda's mom, Makai, Melinda's a great person. But sure enough, I'm still a single man, so, I definitely want to.
All right, who's streaming? Y'all heard that, right? Shoot your shot, sis.
I want to date one of my sisters, for sure.
Absolutely, I love it. We have time for one more question. Was there one more question in the audience? Yes. The mic.
Thank you. Hi, my name's Deborah Riley Draper. 2 questions. The first one's for you, Wayne. I notice every time you look over, there is such a wonderful father. You look over and you smile and you grin and you blush. Tell me, he does. Tell me what you feel when you watch this film and when you get to sit on stage next to this incredibly powerful, smart, and sensitive young man.
First of all, who is this again? But your parents always tell you that, kids don't listen to what you say, they watch what you do. And some of the program that we put together was, so you saw Deidre Gignano, how Deidre Gignano and myself, how we treated each other, right? And how we didn't give up on each other. And we put those young men in a class together to build community, to see that Skylar and Darcell are still together from age 16 to today. So I have so much pride in this man, right? Somebody used to consider a mentee, but now is my friend. A grown man saying grown man things, It's like, oh my goodness, I think about, think about Darrell. Is this success to me, man? This is success right here. This is, because I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you, Darcell, man. You are a full-grown man. And I'm proud of you. So I just put the mic down because you saying whatever I would have said. I'm like, go ahead, brother.
And the second question was for you. It's an incredibly beautiful and powerful film. Do you plan to make additional films?
It's crazy because my uncle is Johnny Beasley. He's actually done some films. He was in Rudy, a lot of other different films, and he does like a local theater. And when he saw the film, he was like, "Man, I really feel like you should, take it serious." And then some of the Dreamville homies were saying the same thing. Like, Darcell, I feel like you should start taking acting serious. And I always had a passion for it and everything, but I just didn't have the support system to tell me like, "Hey, Darcell, maybe you should, focus more on that, side of you, And now I'm just like, I've definitely been looking into it a lot, and I definitely think I want to give it a try if that's possible, for sure.
It's possible.
I love it. I love it. Round of applause for these amazing men. Thank you so much, Wayne Brown. Thank you so much, Darcell Trotter. And remember, released on Stars September 9th. Pre-order now, iTunes. And lastly, before we walk off this stage, there was a scene in which you loved putting on cologne. I am here to tell you, ladies, the brother's smelling good. All right, and on that note, y'all have a blessed evening out of Omaha. Thank you so much.